The episode begins with Heron in the land of the dead, after he was stabbed in the battle by Hades. He saw everyone he had crossed paths with there. Zeus told him that the day he will die will come. He always said from the moment we mortals were born, that is something they must all face. But Heron is no mortal, and he knows now is not the time for his demise. Heron comes back to life with thunder and lightning everywhere, but the gods are now in a really big trouble. Gaia is so angry at the gods, she tells the gods that from this moment on, they will all suffer from their wickedness. She wants to unleash war on them until there is nothing but peace. She decided to unleash the most powerful creature on the planet called Typhon to kill the gods. The gods were no match for this beast, who turned most of them to ashes from the fire coming from its mouth. Ares, the god of war, decided to challenge Typhon. A female god tells him that the greatest warriors knows when to retreat, but Ares replies her that he ran from this beast once, but now he won't run again. He uses his hammer to slam the beast on the face so many times, but he got impaled through the chest when he was about to hand the third blow, and he died instantly. Typhon was about to step on the female god when Hephaestus, a blacksmith god, shows up and sacrifices himself to save her. Heron asks Gaia why she did what she did. She tells him that she only did what Zeus asked against her own judgment. His brethren, the gods, have been misusing their powers for evil. That's why she unleashed the Titan king Typhon to kill them all. She even decided to set loose of the Furies and the gods of old, so those that have broken their oaths will be punished, for order must be restored. Seraphim spots Heron's adamantium sword and tries to steal it, but Heron catches him. Heron tells Seraphim that he knows that he wants to use the sword to rescue someone he loves from the underworld, but Seraphim attacks him saying he knows nothing. Heron tells him that he can't rescue her alone even with the sword, but he can help her. When he drifted into the other world for a minute, he saw everyone he crossed paths with. He felt the pain that they carried. During their fight, Gaia uses her powers to capture Seraphim, saying him too shall be punished. Heron begs Gaia to show him mercy. She once told him to save him, and he still thinks he can. All Seraphim did earlier was because Hades told him to do so. Gaia decided to show mercy, but tell Heron not to make her regret this. Persephone is so relieved to see her husband Hades still alive. Hades says he has failed her, but Persephone tells him to stay strong for her and their children. Their children is still in the underworld and are unsafe there. Persephone's mother Demeter tells them to escape, while she holds off the beast. Hades sends his bird to keep a watch on Typhon movement, and he realizes that Typhon is heading towards the underworld. Gaia uses her powers to travel to the underworld to pay a visit to Cronos, the father of Zeus. He asks Gaia if she admits that she was wrong to betray him. Gaia admits she was wrong about many things, but not her betrayal to Cronos, because no one should sacrifice their children for their own gain. When Hades enters the underworld, his wife Persephone was denied access because Zeus had banned her from entering the underworld during spring. When Typhon arrives at the underworld gates, Persephone had no choice but to fight the beast, just to give her husband the chance to find their children and escape with them. Cronos knows Typhon has been unleashed, and he is on his way to the underworld to set him free, but what he doesn't seem to understand is who had the guts to set Typhon free. Gaia tells him she did. The gods have failed and they need to be punished, so Cronos and Typhon will be their punishment. Just as Persephone holds off Typhon with her powers, Hades rushes to his palace in the underworld to find their kids Meli and Zagreus. He finds out that his children has gone hunting in the woods. He finds them there, and they all set to escape. But unfortunately, Persephone was unable to hold Typhon much longer, and she gets overpowered in a minute and got killed with a blow. Hades through his bird saw how she got killed, and tears rolls out from his eyes. His children asks of their mother, but he had to lie that she will join them later. When he noticed the old gods are coming after them, he appeals to his children to take a sip from a potion Hypnos made for him long ago. It will make them sleep until he returns. When they fell asleep, he hides them in a cave and goes to challenge the old gods. They capture him, and takes him to Gaia, who locks him in a cell. Meanwhile, Typhon uses his powers to free Cronos out of his cell. Just as Typhon bows to him, Cronos tells him that the time has come for them to stand shoulder to shoulder, and together, they will make the universe tremble. Demeter sees Persephone's dead body and cries really hard. It was her fault. If she wasn't selfish, her daughter could have had access to the underworld and would still be alive. Hera shows up to sympathize with her. She tells Demeter that there is still one thing she can do to help her dead daughter, and she asks Demeter if she knows where Zeus is. They are all in grave danger because Cronos has been set free, and Hades has been captured. They have to free Zeus because he is their only hope. Demeter opens up that she knows where Zeus is being held, but setting him free will not be easy, especially if Cronos has been freed. Just as Cronos is about to use the sun to restore his size and strength, Hades frees himself and tries to stop him, but he easily gets overpowered. Cronos uses Hades' bident to direct the sun to him, and this makes his size and strength to return. He frees all the old gods that owe allegiance to him, and orders that they are going to annihilate all the other gods in Olympus. The sun is also pointed to them, and they as well became giants with their full powers. Cronos asks Hades to tell him where Zeus is being held so he can kill him, and he will consider sparing his life. He threatens Hades that he will throw him into the abyss, where both the god body and soul gets destroyed. It's the end all be all. To show him he isn't bluffing, Cronos throws Rhadamanthus, the judge of all judges, into the abyss for refusing to tell him where Zeus is. We saw how both Rhadamanthus' body and soul got destroyed by the abyss. He asks Hades one last time for Zeus' location, but Hades refuses to tell him, and Hades knows Cronos cannot throw him into the abyss because he can't find Zeus without him. But what scares Hades was when Cronos orders the old gods to bring him the soul of Persephone, Hades' wife. Persephone's soul is taken from her body and taken to Cronos. He also brought the soul of Hephaestus and Ares. Ares tries to attack him, so Cronos decided to make an example with him first. He throws Ares into the abyss and his soul is dissolved into nothing. Meanwhile, Heron is still suffering from his stab wounds. To treat him, Seraphim makes him a medicine using hellebore, and this instantly heals Heron from his wounds. Since Heron says he wants to help him, Seraphim wants them to steal the necklace of Harmonia. It was forged by Hephaestus, and its beauty is unparalleled. He wants to use it to bribe Charon, a transporter of the underworld, so he can help give passage to the love of his life Gorgo to the Elysian fields, as she is suffering in the underworld and doesn't deserve that torment. Heron agrees to help him, but he wants Seraphim to do something for him in return. He knows his time to die is really close, and tells Seraphim to promise him that if he dies, he should leave coins behind so he can cross over. On the other hand, Hades panics when Cronos holds the soul of Persephone, threatening to throw her into the abyss if he doesn't tell him where Zeus is. Persephone begs Hades not to tell him anything. Cronus is a liar, he will still kill them after knowing where Zeus is. Persephone tells Hades that when two souls are meant to be together, nothing can keep them apart, so he shouldn't panic. Just as Persephone is about to be thrown inside the abyss, a god called Aeacus shows up to reveal he knows where Zeus is. Zeus is being held on the great plains of Erebus. He heads straight to the location, and takes Hades and Persephone along with him. He frees an old god called Atlas, who has been punished for millions of years by Zeus. He replaces Atlas with Hades, who will have to keep pushing a wheel, if not, he will die in a lava, while Persephone's soul watches in pain and torment. Just as Cronos arrives at Zeus' cell to kill him, Demeter shows up to help Zeus by teleporting him away, making Cronos so angry and frustrated. She leads Zeus to a cave where he is going to be safe for a while, until they find a way to take him out of the underworld. He thanks Demeter, but she tells him to thank Hera, because it was with her help he escaped. Cronos knows that Zeus cannot escape the underworld, so while he tries to find refuge here, he wants his minions to destroy all Zeus temples, which will make him to weaken and rot away in his hideout. After that, they are going to destroy Olympus and kill all the gods. Hera meets Zeus and tells him that they must bring the Olympians together, they need each other more than ever. They should find a way to put the past behind them, as Gaia said, forgive one another. It was hard for Hera to forgive Zeus who cheated on her with a human. But when she went to see the human Zeus fell in love with in the Elysian fields, to understand why Zeus loved her, she told her that it's because she saw Zeus for who he is, not what he was. He was never the king of the gods to her, he was just Zeus. Hera understands why Zeus regards mortals so deadly, because they understand the softer sides of their psyche. She tells Zeus that their only hope now is to reunite the Olympians under his direction. Cronos takes the soul of Persephone and throws her inside the abyss, but Hermes, the god of speed, rescues her. Cronos with all his powers could not catch Hermes, and this increases his anger and frustration. Hermes brings the soul of Persephone to Demeter, her mother, who apologized to her because it was her fault she is in this state. On the other hand, just as Heron helps Seraphim look for the necklace of Harmonia, Typhon shows up to kill them. Heron and Seraphim gave Typhon a really tough fight, but they were just no match. Just when things were about to end very badly for them, Alexia shows up and uses a camouflaging spell to hide them from the beast. When Typhon left, Alexia tries to fight Seraphim for what he did, but Heron explains that Seraphim saved his life. Alexia wants Heron to follow them because they need him in the war against Cronus, but Heron feels this is why he must finish his mission first. If they are going to win this war, they will need Seraphim by their side, as he believes he was the one that was prophesied to kill Cronos. Hera meets the gods while they mourn the death of their loved ones. They all agreed to put their differences aside so they can all fight Cronus and his armies together. Cronos figures out that another way he can find Zeus is by using Hecate touch. Hecate is a witch goddess. Cronos shows up at her temple to capture her, but she escapes thanks to her cult members. Apollo tells Athena that it's only a matter of time Cronus finds Hecate. Heron, Seraphim, Kofi, and Alexia heads straight to the Maenad encampment, where they see Theip and her cult performing a ritual. Heron threatens her to grant them an audience with the oracle, who is the only one that knows where the necklace of Harmonia is. She takes them to see the oracle, who says he will help them if they answer his question correctly. He asks them to tell him the one thing he fears. Alexia answers that he fears if he hears the music of others, because it would influence his own or taint it. That's why he stays here in isolation. Alexia answers the question correctly, but the oracle tells Seraphim that he cannot smuggle the woman he loves out of the underworld by just bribing Charon with the necklace of Harmonia. The necklace can only get them to the judges, who are only ones that can award the Elysian fields. Only if the judges accepts her, can she enters the fields. The oracle reveals to them that the necklace of Harmonia is in the tower of the windscreen, home to the wind god, adorned around the neck of their mistress, Potnia. The oracle warns them to be careful because Potnia can take possession of anything with a soul, and her dark powers protect the palace from those who try to breach its walls. Many have tried to steal the necklace, some even stronger than them, but they all failed because they lack the one thing it takes to succeed, which is the will to sacrifice all. On the other hand, Hera goes to see Brani, a blacksmith giant, to ask for his help. Cronos now wields Hades' bident. Without it, they can't unlock the invisible dome to free Zeus from the underworld, and without Zeus, they will all fall to Cronos. Brani tells her he can forge a bident that will look and feel like the one Cronos now wields, but it will not be able to unlock the dome. Only Hephaestus can forge a weapon capable of that. But it seems their hopes to free Zeus is gone, because Cronos threw Hephaestus inside the abyss, and it destroyed his soul. Heron and his friends arrive at Tower of the Windscreen. They decided to enter the tower from the cliff because there are fewer guards there. They killed the guards, and finally gained entrance to the tower, but something unfortunate happens as Potnia knows they're in her tower. She smiles as she plans to toy with them. Potnia started to possess them one by one to corrupt their mind to fight themselves. Alexia tells them to destroy all the mirrors because that's what Potnia is using to track them. While they all keep fighting themselves, as Potnia keeps possessing their souls, Alexia finds where Potnia is. She tries to take the necklace, but Potnia overpowers her. Kofi remembers what the oracle said: many have tried to take the necklace but failed, because they lack the ability to sacrifice. Kofi decided to sacrifice himself to kill Potnia, and they finally gained possession of the necklace. They arrived at the land of the dead, but they told Alexia and the other human friend to wait outside, because it's too risky for mortals to enter. In the underworld, Charon attacks them, but they explain that they mean no harm, but just here to negotiate. Seraphim knows how Charon yearns for all that glitters, because it brings him cold and tired bones comfort. He offers to give Charon the necklace of Harmonia, which is far greater than any treasure he has acquired. In return, he should help transport his lover, Gorgo, across the river. Seraphim finally reunites with Priestess Gorgo. Charon will help them pass through the river to the judges, who will judge if Gorgo will enter the Elysian fields or not. When they drop Gorgo there, Gorgo asks Seraphim that she doesn't want to go to the Elysian fields, she wants to follow him and spend the rest of her life with him, but Seraphim decided to reveal his demon nature to her, and tells her the person she once loved is dead now, it's only rage that remains. Confident that she will be allowed into the Elysian fields by the judges, he gives her a potion to drink. When she enters the Elysian fields, she should drink it and it will make her forget she ever met him. After Seraphim and Heron left her, Gorgo throws the potion away, and goes to meet the judges for judgment. They tells her that the things she did when she became a priestess is great, but the evil things she did before she became a priestess are even greater. Because of that, the judges decided to cast her to the fields of mourning, where she will ponder what she has done. But an old god shows up asking to do with her as she wish, since she wasn't granted access to the Elysian fields. Seraphim sees Gorgo being taken away by the god. He tries to save her, but Heron stops her, knowing the move he is about to make is suicide. They meet Hera, who updates them on everything Cronos has been doing, how he has been tossing gods into the abyss. It's only a matter of time Cronus will find those protecting the torchbearer, who can reveal Zeus' location. That's why they must unite and make their stand together against Cronus. Cronos and his army confronts the Olympians. He tells them they cannot win. He tries to manipulate them all to leave Hera's side and join him, especially Heron and Seraphim. When he was ruling, mortals enjoyed a golden age. He didn't meddle in their affairs, he didn't bed their women and spawn chaos amongst them. Cronos promised Seraphim that he joins him, he will reunite him with Gorgo, and do what he has always wanted, the annihilation of the gods. Seraphim suddenly decided to consider it, but Heron convinces him that Cronos is never to be trusted. Hera decided to settle the war against Cronos, by using the old way, a battle of champions. Her two best, versus his two best. If her champion fall, she will give him the torch he seeks, but if their champion succeed, he must withdraw. Cronos agrees to this, and asks them to prepare their champions as the tournament begins at sunset. At sunset, Heron and Seraphim, Hera champions, goes to fight Typhon and Cronos. After a long fight, Cronos and Typhon gain the upper hand. Looking at the numbers of people depending on him, Heron decided to do something no one expected. He decided to sacrifice himself by self-exploding himself with his thunder, and this killed Typhon. Cronos attacks Seraphim out of anger, but Zeus suddenly shows up out of nowhere and unleashed his thunder on him. Cronos has been deceived because the champion fight was all Hera planned to distract him, so they can quickly use Hades' Bident to free Zeus. Hades, Poseidon, and the other gods fights with Cronos' army. Zeus, Hades and Poseidon combine their powers on Cronos, and Seraphim does the finishing, by using the adamantium sword to kill Cronos, but he dies in the process. The gods did a very good burial for them, and at the ending of the show, Heron reunites with his mother in the Elysian fields, same goes for Seraphim. And that was how the show ended. If you love animation movies, please subscribe to this channel and keep watching. Bye.